Greetings everyone, I am RSV. Is the Evolorbit series? Well, let's discuss. I'll be getting all my numbers from the Pso2 NGS Arks Phone Wiki, as Evolorbit isn't in the game currently, so since it is a 6-star weapon, it is obviously weaker than the Kaiser and Rug series. But what about other 6-star weapons? Well, I definitely think that it loses to the Pso2 series for mobbing, or killing non-boss enemies. The reason for this is Pso2 is aimed at killing non-boss enemies, and attack power does not matter for this. So even if potential percentage was additive, the Pso2 series would be stronger than the Evolorbit series because attack power doesn't matter as much against lower armor enemies. But what about for bossing? Well, in this case, it's competing with the Rock series, but has a few upsides. Regardless of the Evolorbit series being weaker or stronger than Rocks, it will likely be much easier to obtain, being as it is an event weapon after all. Something else to consider and really think about is you can upgrade the Evolorbit series freely. There is no penalty for putting augments on it, unlocking the potential, because it does not go into a Kaiser weapon and lose all of your progress. Though I think it would be awesome if they added maybe a third Evol series, and then on top of that made a 7-star that we craft into. They could be going for that route because Evolorbit is a recolor of the Evil Eclipse series, though I doubt that they have the foresight for that. But how does the Evolorbit stack up against Rocks in actual combat? Well, since the series will be more obtainable because of it being an event weapon, pixel augments on this series are going to be easier to come by, meaning that it has that. Now, this really depends on the Rocks weapon you're comparing, because the Evolorbit series is just a direct upgrade from the Evil Eclipse series, so it will be better than Evil Eclipse in every scenario. Well, assuming you can get a fixer augment on your Evolorbit. But the Rocks potential revolutionary unit is clearly weaker than the Evolorbit series. While they offer the same amount of potency, I just think that the potential for the Evolorbit series is just better. Natural PP recovery for step countering versus taking damage to recover 20%. The revolutionary unit is about 2% PP per second should you manage to take a hit immediately on cooldown. But there's problems with that. If you take a hit, you can interrupt your damage, and that hurts DPS overall. So in my opinion, the revolutionary unit is strictly worse than illusionary unit of the Evolorbit series. What about the Kato unit? Well, I actually think they compete fairly well. While I do think that natural PP recovery is weaker than offensive PP recovery, Evolorbit does give extra damage over the Staccato unit, and that is the main reason why I'm giving the Evolorbit the win in this case. Though it is hard to say, Staccato unit is really strong if you're playing around it, though I personally lean towards Evolorbit being stronger in this case, again purely because fixer augments are easier to get on the series. But what about Desperation unit? Well, this is more complicated. If you can play around Desperation unit's low PP pool, I think Desperation unit is honestly stronger, but this requires setup, and this requires you to possibly hurt your Rugged Weapon or Kaiser series build in long term. Since Evolorbit is fairly close and has natural PP regeneration, and on top of that, just in general, isn't reliant on crit, but since Evolorbit is more accessible, I think that the Evolorbit series is just stronger here. Not necessarily the strongest out of the two, but I think that it has more use cases and allows you to use it more freely, and is just a better budget option in my opinion. Rock's weapons are really expensive, and it's likely that the Evolorbit series will be fairly cheap, especially because there are 7-star weapons already in the game. I've been RSV. What do you think of the Evolorbit series? Do you think it's promising? Let me know down below, and I'll see you next time.